Welcome back, gspree gang, to my favorite game of 2015. No, it's not The Witcher 3. No, it's not Fallout 4. I never actually played those. Same with Bloodborne. Apparently that came out in 2015. No, it's not Dying Light. No, it's not Darkest Dungeon, or I'm really close second here, but it's not Lego Jurassic Park. We're sticking with the old reliable Star Wars Battlefront 2015. If you missed my video last week, I mostly reminisced about the multiplayer aspect of Star Wars Battlefront, and ended up talking so long that I ran out of time in the week to even talk about single player as a whole, which is kind of funky because according to my stats, this is where I spent 70% of 500 hours, which I still don't agree with. There's no way I played single player that much. Oh, my hair's not looking too good today, huh? They make fixes for this, don't they? Anyway, let's dive right into what some may consider the worst offline in any Star Wars game ever. Even though Star Wars Connect was rated 3.8 on Metacritic by users and Star Wars Angry Birds existed, but I actually liked that game. And let's be honest here, we only know about the Star Wars Connect game through JonTron, am I right? So it's 2015 Christmas and you just got the brand new Star Wars game to finally end out the 5-year-long drought on a mainstream Star Wars game, because no, we're not including Star Wars Connect. No, we're not including the MMORPG, even though Star Wars The Old Republic is fantastic and it still holds up to this day. Granted, there are monetary transactions, but we're not talking about that stuff. This isn't a history video. This isn't a comparison video where I, talk about Star Wars Battlefront and say, oh, I liked this stuff from these other Star Wars games, and I wish that it would have gone this direction, and I'm glad it's where it's at. This is personally just opinions based on my experience playing the game and my zero knowledge of any other Star Wars game ever prior to owning this game. So with that duly noted, you may be booting up Star Wars Battlefront 2015 and say, where's the single player? It says on the main menu, I got multiplayer and I got missions. That doesn't immediately speak single player to me. There's no big word, big bolded black letters that say campaign. Where is that? Well, you may be looking in the completely wrong place, because Star Wars Battlefront 2015 does not have that campaign. You'll have to wait another 2 years for the campaign in Star Wars Battlefront 2 to come out, and I would absolutely love to talk about this because it's been a long time since I've played through this campaign, so if you're interested in that, let me know. But prior to Skirmish being introduced in around July of 2016, we only have 2 tabs on the main menu, multiplayer and missions. Multiplayer, we talked about that already last week, and these missions are all of our single player content, which we only have 3 options with. We have training, we have battles, and survival, and 2 of these are fantastic. I've discovered I can take my mic apart. My 14-year-old self was none the wiser, however, because I only had just started playing non-Nintendo console games a year prior. I was stoked to get into my very first Star Wars game and just play around it. What's this? If I go into the multiplayer section, I can't even do anything because I don't have Xbox Live. What do you mean this $60 game I paid for doesn't come with online access? Oh well, we'll play through the tutorial and get to the rest of it later. Which, funny enough, the tutorial might have more story than the rest of the game combined, because they actually have fully voice-acted voice lines, not to say the rest of the game doesn't, but there's more of an actual linear story from A to B during these tutorials than there are anywhere else. At the beginning and the end of the survival missions, we do actually get a little bit of a cutscene to introduce us to what we're doing here and why we're here, at least how we got stuck here, and now the fact that there are stormtroopers at us, that's the whole story you get. And once you beat all the 15 waves, we'll get into the survival stuff. We'll break that stuff down in a bit, but it's just some X-Wings come in and destroy some stuff, and then we get on a transport and it gets us the heck out of there. It's not really a story at all, but Mr. Admiral Akbar pops up in the corner in his little holographic image and then says, we got a drop pod for you, or we're sending 3 ATSTs your way. To kill you, not to help you in any way. So again, not really story at all. But story and lore aside, let's buckle up and actually get into this offline stuff, because there's honestly some really good stuff in here. But I'm realizing now that the other Star Wars games fans were right, because there's really not a lot of replayability in the training or battle missions at all. Battles get stale after you've played them for like maybe 5 hours, and that goes for the entire battle. Yeah, there's 4 maps and you can play as heroes or villains, but what does that really offer? In the training missions, there's only 5 of them, and it took me and Wyatt 20 minutes to go through all of them. But I do want to talk about and show off these training missions because they were really fun to revisit after like 10 years. And also, nothing can beat a speeder bike excursion on Endor. Going max speed, crashing into trees at max speed, and then looking over on the split screen at your sister who's doing the same exact thing. Our 5 training missions get us familiar with the basic mechanics of the game, and if you're playing on a mouse and keyboard, realizing that flying a spaceship is not for you. I'm gonna go do a kamikaze run or something. Wait, there's actually TIE fighters. Oh no, this is miserable. Hold on. This is the worst experience. I remember why I do not be in here. Oh, this is the worst. Oh my god. I could not even drive in a straight line if I wanted to. Because first up is a run through Beggar's Canyon to get you familiar with the aerial combat, dogfighting, fighting in squadrons, Star Wars, whatever you want to call it. We follow Luke and a friend, at least seemingly, because in the movies they do talk about Beggar's Canyon back home, and I think this is Beggar's Canyon for the, the reason that it says Beggar's Canyon, and also we're in Tatooine, which is Luke's home planet, and we're in an X-Wing, which is what he drives, and I'm pretty sure it's him, and whatever. There's some little words in there that they speak back and forth, but what details? I want to crash into the... I want to know what this little city is that's, like, so...
New York.
Inconceivably small. 2 buildings are the size of one of these ships. And these ships are not that large.
I died.
Why did you die?
I crashed into a building.
Anyway, this is the perfect way to get acclimated to the X-Wing, and then also the TIE Fighters are pretty much on the same, wavelength. And then on the upper class, we've got the A-Wing and the TIE Interceptor for the Galactic Empire, which are just a little bit faster, and they sacrifice some shields and proton torpedoes for speed and rapid fire. These missions are also a really great way to get your hands on some credits so you can buy some star cards for your first time in actual multiplayer, because you can complete these missions with pre-constructed quests, which you complete these quests, they give you like 150, 200, 600 credits or something like that, depending on the difficulty. One of the missions here in Beggar's Canyon is to beat it in 6 minutes without using the proton torpedoes, which you can absolutely do, and it took Wyatt and I 2 tries to, one try figure out that, oh, hey, we can do this pretty easily, and then second try, we actually just did it. So it's like, it's not unbelievably difficult. But anyway, it's a one-time thing. You pocket your credits, and you get all your stars, you get all your achievements, and then you go on to the next thing and never look back. But this next one you might want to come back to, because it's actually fun. It's a really nice, just really relaxing speeder bike outing as my favorite stormtrooper, the Scout Trooper. Again, this mission just follows around some Scout Troopers doing some recon, search and destroy, getting rid of rebel scum around their base on Endor. This mission also allows you to take in the absolute beauty that is the Frostbite engine and Star Wars Battlefront 2015, because everything just looks so nice on Endor. The words? That was such a good take and you messed it up. The leaves, the trees, the water is beautiful, the lighting is immaculate, and it's just right in the peak of daytime, so everything is available to see. It's just a really beautiful place. And what better scenery to be driving around on a speeder bike in. Okay, if I want to actually talk about the rest of the game to you guys and have you not go anywhere, I might want to speed this up a little bit. So let's do that, because I'm already talking about a really mediocre part of a really mediocre game. Next, you get to pilot an AT-ST, I guess also out on a patrol in the Galactic Empire-controlled Sullust planet, used for harvesting resources. So I really don't know why there's random rebel units just around, because they don't own this place. I don't know who left them here, but they really need to be picked up. But as your job as part of the Galactic Empire in an AT-ST, you are just shooting everything that moves. There's also A-Wings that get dropped down here. You just shoot a proton torpedo anywhere in its natural vicinity, and it just locks on and blows it up. This mission goes on for way too long. It is incredibly easy. All you need to know about the AT-ST is you can walk forward, you can sprint, you can throw barrage bombs around, and then throw torpedoes around.
If you're just looking at it and you hit the missile button, you're gonna hit them.
It's like somewhere in the vicinity of a fighter.
It went out of my sight and then
Holy
said, oh,
shit.
X-Wing destroyed.
That ship is crashing.
Oh,
an AT-AT down. What
No.
happened? There wasn't anything around, it just tripped. Next up, we get to play as Darth Vader and Palpatine in the Hoth Rebel base, which is the next easiest mission in the entire tutorial. This takes like 3 minutes to complete, especially with Palpatine and his chain lightning. It's not really exciting or fun. Just go play battles as a hero. It's about the same amount of exhilaration. It's like an overpowered complex to like overpowering the overpowering part of the overpowered complex. Again, it's just hella lame. I swear you're in cutscenes before and after the mission longer than you're actually in the mission itself. Then finally, we get to go outside of the Hoth Rebel base, this time as the Rebels, and get to fly around some T-47 airspeeders and link some tow cables around some AT-ATs and bring them down. Again, this is the only planet where you get to see these T-47 airspeeders. Actually, wait, no, that's a lie. We get them on any map of Walker Assault. Wait, this is revolutionary. Why didn't they do this in the movies? Probably because the color palette's just completely off. Anyway, you use the tow cables to take down like 6 or 7 AT-ATs and then slowly just see Rebel transport ships leaving. So you could probably be fine just taking down 1 or 2 and then replay the mission if you really want to, get the hang of it. But it takes like 5-6 minutes to do this whole mission. So once you're done with it, you're done with it. You never have to do it again. I think we just killed them too damn fast. Oh, did you blow? I saw that. I did the same exact
it's the
thing.
spaceship VTuber now. Whatever that was.
Okay, are we satisfied with that?
Hell no!
Great, because next up is battles, which is the worst part of the offline experience. And I just talked about the training tutorial missions for like 5 minutes. Welcome to battles. With heroes, villains, or lack thereof, you get stuck in a small-ass map with a small-ass amount of troops, and you just go shoot each other, and you play dog tag collection for like 5 to 10 minutes. Again, against bots, but if you want to play against somebody, you can absolutely do that, and it's basically just you versus them, and then whoever picks the most amount of dog tags up, well, whoever gets to 100 points just wins. I really don't know why I liked this so much as a child, but I think I played this a fair bit. Probably leads into my lack of attention span, but there's only so much you can do with 2 star card hands to choose from and then all of the guns to choose from, so maybe you get acclimated to the gun you want to use, run around and shoot some stuff and do it all over again and do it all over again and then do it all over again. Maybe you want to test out your aim, but at the end of the day, this is a Star Wars Battlefront game. Aim is probably the last thing that you need. There's only 4 maps to choose from. You can play as heroes or villains or just as a regular little soldier, and then that's it. That's the whole aspect of the battles. The only reason to ever do these is if you really want 100% the game, or at least 100% all the offline aspects. Because this is where the game introduces in-game collectibles, which you don't really get a whole lot out of. You just kind of get a little star on each mission saying, hey, you collected all the collectibles in all the battles and the survivals, and then once you do all that, once you get all the stars for each of the offline missions, or just all the missions in battles and all the missions in survival, you get a little achievement and says, oh, good job, you did a thing. It also introduces master mode, which is just way too difficult than it's worth, honestly. Maybe I'm just a little stupid and naive and bad at video games, which is entirely possible, but it seems like a lot more trouble than it's worth to go through, try to get 100 points before the enemy picks up 40 on a higher difficulty where everybody's just gunning for you. Second you get revived is when your dog tags that would drop when you die get picked up, and the enemy gets like 20 points off of that, or 15 or 20 points, I don't know. They get some stupid amount. I'm too much into the details. Battles piss me off, they're stupid, and I don't like them. But the important part is I got my fun out of it at the time. Also, with some of these achievements, you get to unlock diorama action figures, which is the stupidest thing, and I don't know why it's in the game, but if you go to your dioramas section in the actual game, it shows you some specific select achievements, not all of them, but you click on, you know, maybe you kill 100 enemies as the Bespin, the Bespin Cloud Car. Then you get the Bespin Cloud Car for your diorama, which nobody's gonna do that. Get 100 kills in the Cloud Car? Are you kidding me? I barely even got 100 kills as a TIE Fighter or X-Wing combined. Anywho, I probably should have let off with this, but let's talk about the actual best part of the offline experience, survival, which I guess is kind of this game's version of zombies, but it's really the only reason I wanted to make a video on this game in the first place, which is weird because it branched out into me making 2 full like 30-minute talking videos about it, which is not what I expected to do. See, honestly, the only reason that I have Star Wars Battlefront installed on my computer, the only reason I bought it for my computer in the first place to have it not on my Xbox, was to play the offline survivals just with a buddy. It takes like 30-45 minutes to run through a 15-wave survival mission. You pick up drop pods, which give you power-ups. You take down ATSTs and TIE fighters and run around a little map and just kill some stuff and survive. That's all there is to it. There's 6 maps, and they each have their own like pseudo difficulty on top of having the easy, hard, master, or I guess probably normal, hard, master difficulties, and then also an achievement thing for the collectibles. And I really want to talk about all of these experiences together, so let's go. Survival on Hoth is hands down the easiest, and you're just in a controlled indoor, mostly indoor Hoth environment. Sometimes there's one ATST that rolls up, but if you're just like barely poking your head out every once in a while like a little groundhog and shooting at it, or, you know, throwing your ion grenades or ion torpedoes at it or smart rockets, it's no problem at all. You can run around these hallways forever as long as you know, have the patience to do it. My favorite strat is to just run around, make sure everything's grouped up, throw a Deoxys gas grenade, which you get from the Death Star DLC. And need I say more? They're just stuck in an enclosed area getting gassed. It's a Star Wars thing. I promise it's a Star Wars thing. It's okay. They were after me first. If I had to say it, this is my most played map because of its simplicity. Also, it's on Hoth. I guess I just love the winter and the cold and at least seeing that environment more often. I also really like the snowtroopers. Next up is the Rebel Depot, which is about on the same difficulty as Survival on Hoth. It was actually added at a later date with the ice caves, and it's basically just Survival on Hoth, but on the Rebel Depot base map from Tatooine. There's no ATSTs, there are no TIE fighters, all there is are, if you're playing on master difficulty, 3 shadow troopers on wave 2. My favorite part about this map is that it is one gigantic circle with a semi-open space in the middle where the Millennium Falcon sits, so you can literally just run all the way around, make sure everything's grouped up again, and then just throw bombs at them. I thought I had more to talk about for each of these maps, but we're kind of burning through these, huh? Now let's get on to the actual problem-causing maps, shall we? Starting with Tatooine, which introduces 2 ATSTs in one wave at one given time. Tatooine is also incredibly open unless you want to hide in one of the little leather huts that the Tatooineans live in, which I don't think they accounted for ATSTs just trampling over, because those things are not durable whatsoever.
No, he's destroying the buildings. I died.
There's no way you were hiding in the paper thin huts. Wyatt.
Listen, that fabric had every possibility of protecting his life.
And I believe the introduction to this mission, this cutscene here, is what they used for like a trailer to introduce the survival game mode in this game, to try and, you know, have it as one of their selling points, because you are 2 soldiers that drop down in an escape pod and then just get absolutely hunted down by the Galactic Empire. And we think this is a really funny concept because it's 2 of you, right? Not a Jedi, not anything. You just have your little guns and you're just in this remote, desolate area, and they're just like, send ATSTs, send TIE fighters, these guys need to be dealt with. That's kind of the whole story for all of these survival missions. Next up is the ice caves, which is really just generally a pain. It's on the verge of being a little too difficult, but still being very manageable. It's just really annoying because almost every single stage, if you're on hard or master mode, there's like 3 TIE fighters just all the time, screeching and doing bombing runs on you. So it's really nice because you have like the cave aspect of it where you can take care of all of the foot troops and run around underground, and then when all the foot troops are gone, you poke your head out like a little gopher, shoot out some TIE fighters, and then run back in and try not to, you know, you got nothing to deal with that. That's why I guess personal shields and the adrenaline stim come in really clutch here. So I recommend beating these things on hard mode first so that you can actually go back in with your own star card hand and just, you know, kind of play however you want to. Finally, Sullust and Endor are the hardest survival maps. Endor, I think it was just a lot harder in my brain because I'm realizing that Sullust is the hardest one because not only does it have TIE fighters, not only does it have ATSTs, but all at the same time, and you can have 3 TIE fighters and 2 ATSTs, and there's these cool little turrets that sit up towards like the actual base that you can get into and shoot the ATSTs from afar, but if you get bombing run by 1 TIE fighter, it's probably going to blow up and you're probably going to die, and that's going to be 1 life just gone. Somehow though, Wyatt and I pulled through on master mode here, and if you actually try to get these missions completed, I really just want to let you know that if you die and your partner is still alive, but your partner completes the wave, you get brought back with no cost to your lives. So that's how you can actually really easily cheese no lives lost achievement on all of these survivals. But yeah, Sullust is just an awful place with TIE fighters and ATSTs. Endor is a little bit more manageable. The only issue there is it's just dark and there's trees everywhere. Yeah, you can go up in the little Ewok village and you'll run around and kind of protect your feet with the little wooden planks that are there, but try not to fall off or take fall damage. You do have jump packs with you, so, you know, try to use those to your advantage. I think Endor feels like one of the biggest places despite being in a literal forest, but these ATSTs have no fear. Alright, anybody else sick of standing here with this microphone? Not just me, because I'm the one making the video? That makes sense. Anyway, there's technically one more mode that EA added to the game about a year and a half later. I've already mentioned it. It's Skirmish. It's basically you get to hop into a completely offline version of Walker Assault or Fighter Squadron. For me, this was really freaking cool because I'm terrible at video games and I just want to feel good about myself sometimes. There's no difficulty in these, and you can bring in a friend either to be on your team or on the other team, and you can kind of just chill out, you know, do Walker Assault. Nobody's really gonna do Fighter Squadron, let's be real. If you want to play Fighter Squadron from Battlefront or Battlefront 2017 after the year 2020, you go play, what is it, Star Wars Squadrons. They got a whole game for it. I think there's a campaign for it. Maybe I should play the campaign for Star Wars Squadrons. But Skirmish was great. It allows you to run around the entire map of Walker Assault, except for the fact that the AI is trash. It's terrible, and it feels just so easy to play, which, to be fair, it feels really good every once in a while, but there's no challenge to it. The AIs are like programmed to do one thing, and that's either run around and stand in a completely random spot and shoot something for, 2 minutes until they die, or run all the way over to the uplinks and then shut off or start up the uplinks. So if you're playing as the rebellion side, whatever, if you're playing as the rebels, you go up, you start your uplinks, and then you run around, you start the other uplink, and then you just kind of sit around them. And then if somebody turns off the other one, you run around to do that. Typically, Walker Assaults are 3 stages. Typically, if you're playing as the rebels, you can beat it by stage 2 because you just stack up so many Y-Wings. And if you're playing as the Galactic Empire, you are playing the entire thing because these rebels start up these uplinks, you just see it, you go to it, you turn it off, no Y-Wings for you. Sorry about it. Yeah.
This guy like 360 no-scoped me.
And then when the whole thing's over, the leaderboard pops up, you've got like 50 plus kills, and then the next closest thing is at like 17. I did really enjoy it though. It is really relaxing. You can pick up ATSTs, you can be heroes or villains, you can control the AT-AT, and it is really fun revisiting those large maps, especially since who's gonna find 40 people to start an online Walker Assault game these days. Okie dokie, gspree gang, I think I've just about exhausted all that I had to talk about for Star Wars Battlefront. I'm sure I've repeated myself a billion times this video, just within this video, and then also for the stuff that I talked about last week, so I apologize. If you want to see some gameplay footage and some typical Overstock clips.
I mean, at least I got Apple Music.
Oh shit. I ran into the lava and died. Head over to the Overstock channel this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. A new video will be going up. It's about 28 minutes long, just consisting of some funny clips and stuff that happened during when I was recording all of the background footage for this video and last week's video. Oh my goodness. I can't talk anymore, and I don't want to retake that because I'm already almost done. I'll pay the $3 it is to get your butter burger if you want to come over.
I hate to bring it to you. I don't think a Butterburger is $3.
What? Also, episode 4 of Cobblemon is up. There's no real timeline for those, so it's not like a, you gotta start at episode 1 and then go all the way through to figure out what's going on. It's basically just like a stream highlights video, except I'm not the one streaming. So you can really just pop in at any point throughout this series and just watch it. So yeah, that also means I'm uploading 3 videos a week now until the foreseeable future because I got a lot going on, I guess, but not that much. Those are going up on Saturday, possibly switching to Monday. We'll put out some feelers and see how it goes. Anyway, I really appreciate you stopping by as usual, gspree gang. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving break for those in the States, and I will catch you the next time you catch me.